The moment the airplane doors closed, everyone hoped for a smooth, quiet flight. But row 18 already told a different story. A young father, exhausted, nervous, and clearly overwhelmed, held a red-faced, wailing baby in his arms. Passengers shifted in their seats, some sighing, some rolling their eyes. But no one felt the panic rising in that father's chest more than he did. He bounced, he shushed, he pleaded under his breath, but nothing worked and the flight hadn't even taken off yet. 2 rows behind him sat a woman who had seen this look before, the kind of fear only a parent knows, the fear of feeling like you're failing. She watched him struggle, remembering her own messy, difficult flights with her now toddler. She could tell he was alone. And she could tell he was trying. What she didn't know yet was that she would soon change the entire course of his day, and his heart. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to Kindness Lights for more heartwarming stories. If you enjoy this video, give it a like, share it with a friend, and comment below with a moment when kindness made a difference in your life. Your stories inspire this community now. Let's begin. When the plane finally lifted off the runway, the baby's cries only grew louder. The young father, his name was Daniel, kept whispering apologies to everyone around him. He was sweating, fumbling with a bottle, trying to rock the baby while also attempting to unfold a blanket one-handed. Nothing stayed still. Not the blanket. Not the bottle. Not the baby. And certainly not Daniel's nerves. He had been a single dad for only 4 months. His daughter, Lily, was only 6 months old, and he was still learning how to do everything on his own. Traveling alone with her had seemed doable when he booked the ticket. But now he wished he could melt into the floor. A flight attendant approached with the softest smile she could manage over the noise. "Is there anything I can get you?" she asked. Daniel shook his head. I don't know. She usually calms down when I walk around, but we're still in the seatbelt sign. The attendant gave him a sympathetic nod. "Just hang in there. You're doing great." He didn't believe her, but he appreciated the words. 2 rows back, the woman, her name was Emily, a single mom to a 2-year-old, felt a tug in her heart. She watched Daniel trying everything he knew, and she recognized every move. The bouncing. The shifting. The quiet, desperate whispering. She knew that exhaustion. She knew that fear of judgment. And she also knew he needed help, even if he didn't ask for it. As soon as the seatbelt sign turned off, Daniel unbuckled and gently stood to sway Lily in his arms. But the aisle was tight, and every step felt like a balancing act. Lily's cries continued to pierce through the cabin. People were watching. Some with understanding. Others with irritation. Emily took a deep breath, stood, and walked toward him. "Hi," she said softly, touching his arm so she didn't startle him. "I'm a mom too. Do you mind if I help?" Daniel blinked at her, eyes tired and grateful but embarrassed. I don't know. I don't want to bother anyone else." "You're not bothering me," Emily said. "Really? I've been exactly where you are." He hesitated, bouncing Lily a little harder, but his arms were shaking. Emily noticed. "May I?" she asked, gently reaching out. Daniel handed Lily over, and something incredible happened. Almost instantly, Lily's cries softened. Emily held her with the practiced ease of someone who'd spent many nights walking the floor with a crying baby. She swayed side to side, humming quietly. Lily blinked, hiccuped, and nestled her tiny head against Emily's shoulder. Daniel exhaled in disbelief. "How did you do that?" Emily laughed softly. "Honestly, I have no idea. Every baby is different. Sometimes they just need a different rhythm, a different scent, or maybe just someone who isn't vibrating with stress." Daniel laughed, too, a small, shaky laugh, but it was the first one he'd had all day. Emily walked with Lily slowly up and down the aisle. The baby's breathing steadied. Her tiny fingers curled around the fabric of Emily's shirt. Passengers who had looked annoyed moments earlier now watched with softened eyes. Some smiled. Some whispered, "Ah." The tension in the cabin eased. Daniel sank back into his seat, rubbing his face with both hands, finally able to breathe. A few minutes later, Emily returned and sat in the empty seat beside him, one of the few perks of a half-booked flight. She handed Lily back. "Now calm and drowsy, thank you," Daniel said, voice breaking just a little. "You didn't have to do that." "Maybe not," Emily replied, "but I remember when a stranger helped me on a flight once. It saved me. Kindness sticks with you. I figured, why not pass it on?" Daniel nodded, swallowing hard. "I'm still new at this. Parenting. Doing it alone." Emily looked at him with understanding in her eyes. "You're doing just fine. You showed up. That's what matters most." For the next hour, they talked. Not about heavy things, not at first. They talked about diaper bags and sleep schedules, about the weird songs babies like and the snacks that magically stop tantrums. They talked like two people who had been carrying too much alone and finally found someone who understood. Daniel learned that Emily had been a single mom since her son was born. Emily learned that Daniel had lost Lily's mother suddenly and was still learning how to breathe through the grief. Their conversation was gentle, honest, and warm. Two strangers on a plane, sharing pieces of their lives, connected by the unexpected sound of a crying baby. As the plane began its descent, Daniel looked at Emily and said, "You didn't just help my baby today. You helped me." She smiled. "That's what we're here for, right? To help each other." When they landed, several passengers stopped to tell Daniel he had done a great job, or to smile at Lily, or to thank Emily for stepping in. What began as a flight filled with stress had turned into a small, beautiful reminder of what humans can be at their best. As Daniel and Emily went their separate ways, each carrying their own child, Daniel felt something he hadn't felt in months: hope. Not because everything suddenly became easy, but because someone cared. Someone saw him struggling and chose to help, and sometimes, that's all it takes to change a day, or a heart. In a world that can feel rushed, impatient, or divided, kindness is still powerful. It's still healing. And it still spreads, one person, one moment, one simple act at a time. Let this story remind us to look up, look around, and step in when we can. You never know whose life you might brighten. Thank you for watching, and remember, even the smallest kindness can light the way for someone else.